My greatest achievement and how I got there. Anyone else can too. Welcome to today's live. It's just going up to 3 minutes to 6 p.m. So put in the comments below that you watch this live. If you're watching this in the replay, then put in the comments #replay. Also, let me know what we've been up to today. I want to know what success you've had, what achievements you've had, what challenges you faced, and what you learned from it. So put this in the comments. And if you're watching this, my video content for the first time, then put in the comments newbie, just so I know how new you are to what my videos are. So today my video is going to be based on me explaining to you what's my greatest achievement, how I managed to get there, and why anyone else can too, and kind of explaining what I learned from it. So just also let you know, because I'm using Restream, that I will be having to toggle through the pages just to see if there are any comments, because I can't see the comments on Facebook using Restream. Otherwise, let's dive straight into the content. So ever since I was, I'd say, 10, I've always been fascinated by the brain and how we humans communicate with each other. I've often read loads of books on human communication and psychology, and I've always been a big fan of it. Anytime I got the chance to learn about it, I'd read up on it. So I had loads of books on human psychology, psychology in general. I was really passionate about the subject because I just thought the brain was such a key way to understand how people viewed the world, how people related, and how we thought. And I always believe that we could harness our full control of our brain, then we would be able to have unlimited power. And so upon my research, when I was reading different books, I stumbled across a book called The Ultimate Introduction to NLP. And it's by Richard Bandler. He was one of the co-founders of NLP. Now I didn't know much about NLP at the time, and I was really intrigued by it because I was intrigued by understanding neurons more, but also understanding the different ways we communicate, so our linguistic style, and also how that can be programmed. And I like this photo, unlock your limitless possibilities. And I also felt like when I read that book, obviously that the brain has limited potentials if we were able to really understand it. So for those of you who don't understand NLP, NLP it's called Neuro Linguistic Programming, and it's a psychological approach that involves analyzing strategies used by successful individuals and applying them to reach a personal goal. It relates thoughts, language, and patterns of behavior learned through experience to specific outcomes. So NLP, you will look at it. Basically looks at the way you view the world and how you communicate. So, we've all heard of the different ways, that we can communicate, whether it's through audio, touch, visual, taste, and smell. And NLP basically says that one of them is going to be our primary way that we communicate. And if you want to build rapport with someone, figure out what the language pattern is, and then talk in that language. And that's a great way to then immediately build rapport with someone. So if someone's very visual, then you want to paint the picture when you're talking to them, like the story. And so for me, like I said, I was always interested in understanding, how neurolinguistic programming worked once I read that book. And if you go into more detail of it, so it's also based on modeling, action, and effective communication are key elements of neurolinguistic programming. And the belief is that if an individual can understand how another person accomplishes the task, the process may be copied and communicated to others so they can too accomplish the task. So it basically means that, you can model someone else. So let's say you have, you're inspired by, Michael Jordan, and you're playing basketball inspired by him. But it basically means that you can understand what he did to become the best basketball player of all time, the amount of training efforts he was doing, or the mindset he had, and then you can then copy that, maybe not to become as good as him, but to also achieve success in the basketball field. So that's what it basically means. And so after completing the book, I was hooked. I was desperate to learn more, as I wanted to teach it. I thought, that book opened my eyes to new worlds and new possibilities, and I saw how much it benefited for me. And also, upon research, I saw like how many the NLP coaches are out there and how many people, were being coached by an NLP coach. I thought, in my mind, I thought, if I could learn this, I could then teach it to my friends and family and help them add more value to their life and help them change and grow. So I spent hours on researching into how I could learn more about the practice. And I found there were lots of NLP qualifications you could take, and there were loads of different schools you could take in London. So for me, I felt overwhelmed because like, well, how do I know which is the right school? Who's going to be the right coach, or who's a good school to go to? And I remembered, like, so this is back in 2009. And I remembered, like, in 2008, I had done a course, and I did, then which led on to like a kind of like retreat. And on the retreat, there was an NLP coach who was like a master NLP coach, and she'd been teaching NLP for quite a while. And I remember, I remembered her, and I thought, oh, she'd be a good person. So I contacted my friend, a lady called Naria Carrion, and I asked her, where's a good NLP school to learn, and who's a good teacher I can learn from. So she recommended the Brain People Academy, who are based in Elephant Castle. Unfortunately, now they've gone out of business, but at the time they were like considered one of the best schools in NLP in London, or even the UK, because the guy who ran it had been personally trained by Richard Bandler. So, his school was accredited, and all the reviews were top-notch reviews. And so, for me, I thought this is the perfect place for me to go and learn NLP from her recommendation. But obviously, that they were very strict school, so they didn't just take anyone. They only wanted particular people, so you had to go through an application process to go study at the school. And obviously, Maria's, because she knew the founder really well, that connection allowed me to then be seen as suitable for the school. So with NLP, there were two levels. There was NLP practitioner, which is basically foundation level, and there was NLP master practitioner, and there was also like hypnotherapy. So there were 3 different levels you could do, and there were different courses that you could do just for each one. And I didn't want to do each course just one by one because it would take me ages, and I didn't want to do that. And I'm quite an intense person, so there was a course where you could do all 3 in one go, and that's the one I chose because I thought I just want to master as quickly as possible rather than having to do it over a long period. But of course, the courses weren't cheap. It was going to cost like £8,000 for me to do this course. And at the same time, in 2009, I'd started a master's in employment law and human resource management, which was going to give me accreditation for the CIPD, which is the chartered body for HR. And I was 7 months into the course, and this course had started in January 2009. So it's pretty much, because it was a 1-year course in my MA. I didn't do it like a 2-year MA. I just wanted to do an intensive 1-year course. So I was 7 months into that course, and so I thought, okay, to then pay £8,000 on my own was going to be a lot of money, and I didn't have that money. Although I was working in a day job, like as a supervisor at Woolworths, I didn't have the money per se. So I had to borrow half the tuition from my parents. So they paid £4,000, I paid the other £4,000. And when I enrolled with this course, I was ecstatic because I'd got into such a really good school. And the course was going to be held over 24 weekends. So the weekends would be, you'd start at 9 in the morning, you'd finish at 11 at night, on the Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So that was very intense, and you do that for 24 weekends. And there wasn't an assessment per se in terms of like written assessment. They would assess you during the actual workshop through exercising and in-person assessments to make sure that you are actually reaching the required potential for the course, and you become like certified. So it was a different way of running an assessment, which I enjoyed. I didn't want to do a written assessment. I wanted to do it their way. So, of course, taking on this NLP course meant I had to do my master's, work at Woolworths, and do my NLP weekends. So, on weekends, I was doing Monday to Thursday, 9 to 5 in my Woolworths job as a supervisor. on the evenings of Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday from 6 to 9, I was doing my masters, and then the weekend I was doing my NLP. So obviously, this had made I had no time for a social life. So I had to sacrifice my social life for at least a year, which wasn't particularly something I wanted to do because I obviously love spending time with my friends, but I had to sacrifice that, and it meant I had no free time because the free time I did have, I have to be doing my masters assignments or doing my NLP assignments. So it was going to be a hard sacrifice for a whole year, but I was determined to make the sacrifice because I wanted to become a master practitioner and I wanted to have an MA. So I thought a year is worth it just to have those two at the end, have those two in my tool belt. So, after that whole year of all the sacrifices I made, to ensure that I was able to become certified, in January 2010, I became a certified NLP practitioner, and I became also seen as an expert in the community, which was really one of my proudest moments because, like I said, it was I would say the hardest period of my life having to do that, because there were so many times I felt demotivated, I felt lonely, I felt just giving up because I want to just go out and hang out with my friends on a Saturday, or I want to just have a lazy day on a Saturday or Sunday, but I couldn't because of I had I'd be at the NLP course, or I used to study and do my assignments. So I never had those opportunities that whole year, and it was really, really challenging. But because of that challenging, and the resilience it developed in me, I was so proud to have accomplished that. At the same time, in the August of 2010, I completed my MA, and then I became I got a distinction. I became a master's in employment law and human management. So that was also a massive accomplishment to know that all the hard work and graft paid off. So I was so happy, and I proved to myself that I had the mental resilience to overcome challenging hurdles. And I think that was the key thing for me to show that, the sacrifice you had to make, I could overcome those hurdles. Could have been easy for me just to quit when it got hard or when it was difficult, but no, I made and I found a way. When I said there wasn't time, I found time. If it meant working till 2 a.m. or waking up at 4 to do my assignments or my NLP, I did that sacrifice. If it meant living off coffee, I did that. So, I overcame those hurdles. I learned the importance of having a clear goal in mind. So my clear goal was, the reason why I'm doing this courses was I want to become a master practitioner in NLP. I want to be seen as an expert, so I can then use those coaching techniques to help my friends and family and earn passive income from it. I also wanted to become an MA in employment law and human management, so I could further myself in my profession and have more credibility in my industry. So those are my long-term goals, and I realized no matter what I faced, that's the long-term goal, and that was my why, and that helped me keep going. So having that clear goal was crucial, and I knew that no matter how hard things got, the results will come when I kept going, and that's what drove me. And now, it's 2020, and I'm proud to have my NLP certification. I'm proud to have my MA, and I saw this all as techniques to have my tool belt, and I see myself as like a plumber, because I've learned other different courses in that time, and the different tool belts you can have to then bring out when you feel it's relevant. So I don't always use NLP in my coaching, but I do feel it's relevant. It's good to have that in my tool set to say, look, this is what you do. Even with HR and stuff, I can then bring out and say, look, I see if you're running a business, this is what you want to do in terms of your HR. So to have that in my tool belt gave me more skills and allowed me to be able to help more people. So I've seen a huge difference in terms of my clients when I apply NLP in the coaching. So, NLP is so powerful. It has so many good tools to help deal with trauma, confidence, self-belief, taking action, overcome procrastination, all different areas. So for me, being able to use NLP and see the massive impact it has on my clients makes me really happy. Makes that sacrifice even more worth it. So, I think for me, the key lessons here that I got from my greatest achievement was one is to have a clear goal, have a clear strategic goal that you're working towards for the next 12 months. Really plan out how you're going to achieve that goal, making sure that, you've thought of the excuses you might have, challenges you might face, what resources you're going to need, whose support you might need, and really have really have an understanding exactly what are you going to do in order to achieve your 12-month goal. And also having like shorter intervals, so you have like a 3-month goal, 6-month goal, 9-month goal, and actually really thinking yourself in that strategic way. That's key. Now the other one is making sure that you don't quit or give up, and that if you keep going, the results will come. And for me, it did. And you have to be willing to face adversity. You have to be willing to make the sacrifices, and not allow distractions to come in your way. Now it was easy for me, for example, to be distracted and want to go out with my friends and get drunk, because I was only like 21, 22 at the time. But no, I said, no, my goal, my big why is more important. You need to, have that integrity for yourself, and make your own rules that will hold you accountable. And then also you need to be willing to, look after your health, because you need to have good sleeping patterns, eating habits, all these things are, because when you're doing something intense like that, you need to have good energy levels. So you need to be making sure you're looking after yourself to ensure that you're fully focused, you're fully energetic, you're fully engaged, and you feel good about yourself. So those are all the key things. And also, I think the last one is managing your mindset. Making sure that you are mastering your mind. So you're managing any negative thoughts, limited beliefs, or negative emotions that could hold you back, or way of thinking that will hold you back. So, I'd rather sleep in today. That's a way of thinking. That's a limited way of thinking. It's going to hold you back. So, really manage your mind is crucial. So, if you found tonight's live of really good value, then put in the comments below top stuff. If you stay to the end and you're an A player, then put in the comments A player. And I want to see my A players. And I want you to tell me one thing that you took away from tonight's live that you can implement in your life straight away. Because it's implementation where you start to see growth, and you start to see different results in yourself, and success happens. So you want to be an A player who's going to listen to this live video and straight away implement something in their life. And that's how you'll start to see the results. I'll also put in a copy of the slides, so there'll be a link so you can get a copy of the slides to read in your own leisure. And, as always, share this with your friends, families, and colleagues, because you'll be adding more value to their life and allow them to grow and allow them to have success. So that's what it's about. It's about helping each other. So pass it forward, but helping someone else with this good knowledge that you've got. And I'll also be doing another live tomorrow, so check that out. I just want to see if there are any comments. Are there any comments? I'll also be doing another live tomorrow. No comments. So, and there's no questions. Thank you for being on tonight's live. Stay motivated, take action, and stay positive. And check out my other live tomorrow. Otherwise, we'll catch up soon and have a great evening. Bye-bye.